I was hoping to touch on a couple of things today. Somebody was asking me recently about the etiquette for our dojo space, our Zen center, and we really aim to make things very accessible and all of that. But there are some things that you can think about doing etiquette-wise in your practice. Typically, like when you come in the door, when you come in the dojo space, you can step with your left foot first, and then you can do a bow, a standing bow to the space. And that's kind of a way of acknowledging this as a place of practice. You can think about bowing to the altar maybe, or just as a place of practice, seeing that it's a space of opportunity and possibility, and like a spiritual space. So you can do a bow when you come in, and then typically when you leave as well, you can turn towards the space and you can do a standing bow, and then you typically would exit with the right foot at that point. So it kind of keeps you on your toes, okay, left foot and then the right foot, right? It's a nice way of remembering and coming back to that place of presence. When you're walking in the space, having the hands, it's called shashu in Japanese. It's where you've got typically your left hand on your solar plexus or on your heart, and then the right hand over top, and the thumbs are overlapping. That's a way that you can be walking in the space. It's almost like a physical expression of presence, of coming into a place of alignment with the truth. And we will be walking in straight lines. Okay, so Zen is very much, we talk about the practice of nari-kiru, which translates into being something completely or becoming something completely. So when you're walking, you can walk in the front door, and if you're going to the left, you can turn to the left and walk in a straight line, and then a straight line, versus a weaving line, or a loosey-goosey kind of way of walking. Zen sees that as it sees walking in a straight line as a way, again, of embodying presence and awareness, and single-minded focus. Typically, if you go to a temple or a monastery in Japan, they will be in bare feet. It's like if you're going to a yoga class. If you do a yoga class, there's something about having bare feet on the yoga mat, which helps you to kind of connect to the ground more. I don't know, there's an intimacy about it. I'm not quite sure what it is, but that's something you might want to explore as well. I think it's important to have the space be accessible for folks and not intimidating. But at the same time, there's this potential for structure and holding the container. That's important. When you come to your seat, so we've got this central area here, and the central area, typically the roshi or the teacher, okay, can be in that central area. Often, so we'll come around when you're coming to sit, you actually come in the front door and you come around the sides of the space. So you'll be facing inwards, and so if you're going to sit on a meditation cushion, you'll turn towards your cushion, and you'll do a standing bow before you sit down. And that's like a way of, again, like honoring the space and like acknowledging the community, the other people here. If you're sitting in a chair, you can do the same thing. Obviously, the chair will then be behind you, and you'll be turning and facing inwards towards the center of the space. And you can do a standing bow and then sit down in the same way. So, yeah, those are just, when I kind of received that question, I was thinking, well, what are some really simple ways to talk about like etiquette, the etiquette of the space,